Again, my name is Toor. I'm one of the co-founders of Deepline, and I'm going to be talking about programmatic GTM and how we can start building tools to solve your unique problems. What we've seen is go-to-market is generally a very unique aspect of every single company. So how do we make sure that we're solving it the right way for what matters to you? So what is Deepline? Deepline is a CLI SDK that gives you programmatic access to all of your first-party and third-party data. So if you want contact enrichment, waterfall enrichment, if you want internal CRM data, your data warehouse, we're a middle layer that handles that access point. We're really designed for agents initially. So you use Claude Code, tell it what you want, and then you can deploy it as code, as a script. So everything is translated to TypeScript. So it's very favorable if you're like building internal applications. But that's kind of like the user experience is describe what you want in Claude Code and then say deploy. And that generally works really well. And the value add that we try to solve is there's so many different data providers. So X is really good because it's going and getting public data from everywhere. But what if you need really specific data that's proprietary? What if there's no like web public information here? There's 100 different providers that might have that aggregated for you, but which one's actually good? Which one should you spend money on? That's a really hard problem, it turns out. So that's what we help with. And so I'm going to start with a fun fact I learned at a talk a couple weeks ago. For really advanced sculptors, they actually spend a lot of time. You hit a limit on what you're able to do with tools that are built for other tasks. So like a general scalpel, if you're carving the statue of David, doesn't work anymore. So you end up just building these really like rickety pieces of technology. So this is a guy on Reddit who was wrapping wire really closely to get the perfect angle on what he was trying to do in sculpting. And then this other guy is picking up the bristles off street sweepers to find a way to get the exact edge that he's looking for. And that's kind of the metaphor that I feel like when I'm talking to go-to-market teams, is like they're just scrapping for whatever they can get to solve this weird angle on the problem that they're addressing. So besides the metaphorical competitive angle here, I just think it's a pretty funny metaphor. Awesome. So what I've essentially learned working with go-to-market teams for the last couple months, years now, your optimal go-to-market motion wouldn't work for anyone else and probably shouldn't work for anyone else. So how most people go down this route, and we work with a lot of teams who are really, really good and very advanced in this like AI world. They start with generic solutions, they figure out what's working, not working. The big thing is finding the patterns. You have to start somewhere, you have to do something and start getting feedback. I think I talked to a lot of teams where they're like, we don't know where to start. And the answer is, it doesn't matter, just do something. Because any signal that you start getting back is gonna help you get to the right answer faster. And if you spend all your time trying to figure out the best provider for something, you're wasting time. And most of us on venture-backed startups don't have a lot of time to waste. And lastly, like once you've figured out the patterns, that's when you can build really custom tools that are unique to your use case. Because the patterns kind of are the prerequisite for figuring out what is that angle and what is that edge that we're trying to solve. So this is very high-level bullshit, but let's go really specific. And Deepline can do a lot of things. We have 100 providers, very broad use cases. It's kind of intimidating when I just show it to someone and say, go type in exactly what you want. They don't know where to start. So the other thing that I've kind of felt over the last couple of months shifting is it's really hard to stand out and go to market. Like if everybody's doing the exact same thing, how do you make your message stand out? How do you actually get something interesting for someone? A lot of people have good products. Not a lot of people have good go-to-market motions. And so I'm going to go through a quick example of how we are like piecing data together to solve really specific problems for our customers. This one is related to you guys checking in here and how we're going to use that to combine first and third party data to find a really unique angle to get you to pay attention to us. And then the other thing I'm kind of taking away, and Kellen's around here somewhere, and I'm stealing his quote, but a lot of the time when we talk to early stage companies, they're like, I'm just gonna do a lot of cold email, and people are gonna read it, and we get 1%, we're happy. And that is fine, it will do something. But if you start and the other thing is they personalize it. And by personalize it, they do that AI bot spam of, hey, you talked about X on LinkedIn, and I'm gonna talk to you about my product, which is unrelated, but it sounds cool that I said that. And the takeaway, and this was a big shift in our outbound motion, is empathy and awareness, actually explaining that you feel the pain that the person feels. That's actually way more valuable than just personalizing. Cool. So Twilio did shut me down while I was testing, so we're not going to do the text anymore. But initially it was going to be you text this number, and then it's going to send you the information that we gather in this process. But the overall loop and what we kind of instruct our customers and Deepline agents to do is start with context, go do an action, and then find an insight. And so we'll start there. And I'm going to start with this little check-in system. Oh no, that's terrible timing. Oh no, I just deleted it. Wow, that is tough. Okay, awesome. So as you guys were checking in here, this is not right. Cool, all right, we're just gonna do it left. Essentially what we were doing as you guys were checking in is sending a webhook to our servers saying, as someone checks in on Luma, let's go add them to this list of people that are eligible to win a $100 prize plus $100 in Deepline credits. And then we're gonna hit the spinner and select the winner. So I'll do that in 1 second. But on the right side here, I'm gonna go to a signal. Yep, delete everything. So over here, going to Willie, I'll go into Willie's profile here. So Willie is one of our customers, and I've kind of categorized everyone into power user, intent, how much they're working with the company. We have all the internal data already, so we know how much they're using the product, how often he's coming through, and then I combined it with external information of what is he interested in. So I went and got all of his social posts, and I did this for everyone who's attending here, and so we're getting a LinkedIn post, and let's see what Willie said on LinkedIn last. As that loads. And then a recommendation on a product over here that might be interesting for him. So a workflow ship kit, cube timer, NFC shortcut tags, and a mini checklist. I don't know what any of those things are. And so the last thing he did is selling the AI era. So what we're doing is gathering a bunch of third-party contacts, a bunch of first-party contacts, and then we're going to select a winner in a second. So how did we actually build this? So all I actually did was, I'm going to show an example of what Deepline is. It's a CLI that sits behind what you're doing. And so quick start, this is just a demo that we have preloaded. What it's saying is go find 5 CTOs in New York with verified emails, LinkedIn profiles. Let me first check, yeah. So that's the prompt, just go find CTOs. And I'm gonna approve some stuff here, and it is going to open a little window. And as it's running, what it's doing in the background is it's gonna go try 4 or 5 different sources and say, what's the best source to get this data? So it might try 5 different providers and say, hey, this one seems to have the best data for what you're doing, and then let's actually do 1,000 more there. So as this loads, it's showing just one provider in this demo, and then it's gonna waterfall through more providers to get their emails and pop up a little CSV here. So this is all running locally on your machine, but it also gets stored to the cloud. And cool. And so once when we're running this, we're storing everything in a database that is owned by the customer. So it's a Postgres database that you can run. You can do anything you want on it. It's really designed for vibe coding. Everything we're doing is designed for vibe coding. And this is the workflow. So if you text that number, it will actually start this workflow. And the workflow is, it receives the SMS, it normalizes it, so it's running code. I designed this entire workflow by chatting with Claude Code and then deployed it to the cloud and said, all right, when someone texts this number, let's go get this information, get their phone, validate it, make sure it's a real contact, validate again, get some more enrichment data from different providers, combine all of that, and check if they're in HubSpot. So I can show you one that we ran on myself here, and we can go over here, and then I added a step to approve in Slack. And again, everything in here is just being configured through Claude Code. So I can say, let's rerun this. And it'll go find a use case to go follow up on. And so the last piece, here is the CTOs that we pulled. So all I typed in was go get me CTOs, and it went and pulled these 5 from Woodstack, Members Direct, Noli. We can see their LinkedIn's, company size, all the information you could want. We tried a couple different providers to get email. And what I'm hoping you guys take away from that, despite terrible timing on me accidentally deleting my database, is that you are able to get data really fast, take that information, and then turn it into a workflow. And the experimentation speed is where we see teams really excel. The faster you can get a lot of data and expedite feedback, you have to do something about it. So push it to a tool, send an email, call someone, do something. But that closed loop, I think loops are really big on Twitter right now. You're trying to get feedback, put it in the database, and then continuously learn from that. And because Claude Code has access to everything that we're doing, it knows what enrichment data you used, what the product did, and where to take it from there. So we will really quickly do the winner here. And that's winner. All right, so it should be only people who checked in. Linus Lou. You get a mini whiteboard, A/B decision dice, and experiment cards. So you probably talked about a experiment at some point is what we're going to go with. So Linus, find me after, and we'll get you set up with your gift. You can also just take a $100 gift card if you don't want that. That was a pretty shit gift. So we'll find a better option for you. Awesome. Thanks again. My name is Toor. If you guys want to try out Deepline, you can take one of the matchboxes that leads to the promo code. You can take the top promo code. If you guys just want to jam and talk about your go-to-market motion, we've done a lot of these now. Going back to Rosemary's question, like how do you start from scratch? There's like a very specific way I recommend going, and it's search for a bunch of information on public information, and then just use Deepline to go get it. So yeah, grab promo code up top, grab time with me to get onboarded, learn more about how to use the product down below. And that's it for today. So really appreciate it. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to stick around, but we can answer one or two and then let everyone go. Cool. Anyone? Cool, I can do 1, 2, yeah, go for it.
Yes, real quick, I know I put the name in, but I don't want to know the influence. Just like describe next thing. One gives you the just goes to the waterfall of the start. I'm curious, what's the business for what's the waterfall? Is that dynamic based on the territory?
We have a default, and then we change it based on the use case. So we'll try the default, and if the default gives bad results, then we'll try something else. Excuse me. And what it's optimizing for, I just made this metric up, so I don't actually know if it's the right one, but it's the incremental cost per the marginal cost per incremental validated email. So adding one more provider, how much does that cost and what is that cost? And we optimize for that. So if the validation rate is really, invalid rate on an email provider is really high and it's still cheap, it still might not be a good fit. So we're basically saying out of all the emails that we got from them, how many were good, what was the incremental cost there, and then we're optimizing based on that. So it often has like a free provider or something, a cheaper provider up front, and then you'll get more and more expensive providers. But the expensive providers, because they are more valid, are generally going to be better. Cool. Yeah. We can do anybody else? Awesome. Good.
I'm just curious. Why don't you? I know currently Deepline is running on Claude. Why don't you wrap them all up to be like a complete website or an app that people can use? Because I'm working with marketing people, and some of the, I think the non-tech marketing people are way much more than like people know how to run code.
Yeah, we technically have an MCP, and you can use it anywhere. We also have Claude Cowork, so technically you can do it anywhere. What we found is we're kind of optimizing for people doing high scale. So we're looking at programmatic use cases. We're going for folks who are having a lot of pain with the tools that they have in terms of scale. So technically what we do today works for everyone. You can use it anywhere. We don't advertise the MCP a ton because we don't have the resources to kind of handle the support on that side right now. But it works, it's universal. So we are just an API. It doesn't really matter where you are working. We have people who have deployed it, like the agents that you saw at the beginning. We have people who are running it in Railway as an agent and just chatting with it through Slack. We have people who are running it just API and never use any of our agents or CLS. Our goal is just to give you go-to-market data and first-party data wherever you need it. So yes, we can do anywhere. If you have a use case where you want folks using it via MCP, happy to set that up for you. Cool, awesome. That feels like a planted question. I don't get to say that one a lot. I will let you guys go. There's definitely a lot of pizza left. Feel free to take some with you. Thanks again for coming out.
Hey, yeah. Nice to meet you. About what you guys do. I mean, I'm first of all what I does.
Yeah.
I'm working more like a cost effective.
Yeah.
And also,
No, of course.
yeah. I mean, we're talking about the idea is
Of course, appreciate you. Awesome.
But you guys I've heard that you guys are.
You know, it's on my list. It's, you know, I have this segment list of all the segments that could of people building agents that could probably benefit from that stuff.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, e-com, from what we've seen so far, is closer to the bottom.
How do you start that?
Primarily revenue thus far from this segment, and how we calculate